View data. Push. Bam. Move group convert. Email sent. Build a pair. StreamYard. Oh, and we're live. Holy smackaroni. I was over here just talking to myself.
Sunday, that's what they're for, right?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. You know? Boom. Bam. Love it. Love it. I'm recovering from yesterday. Had a long day. It was a good day, though. Facebook user live. Hell yeah. Drop us some comments, guys. Good morning. Are you still having coffee? What'd you do yesterday? How you feeling? What's on your plans for today? I did some legal murdering yesterday. It was a lot of fun. You know? Hello. I wish I could see who called us an amazing human. StreamYard's probably being funky again, but if this is like one of your first times, make sure you and yep, StreamYard is funky sometimes. But if this is your first time, make sure you hit that link that's above wherever you're seeing this and grant StreamYard permission. And then let's see. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I already gave him the flower.
Okay. I saw it was nudes, so and I just answered her.
Yeah, you already got it. I love you. You look really cute. Saw the post on the deer. Yeah, man, we did good yesterday. We had a great opening first day. I killed the first buck on the first run deep in the swamp. Got my feet wet. It was great. Red Wine Rachel, Angela, Aaron. Got folks popping on. Tree up, laundry, camper winterized. You're winning. Hell yeah, Wendy. Where is the link to StreamYard? Should be just above the post, wherever you're seeing this, and whether you're in my group or Nate's group. Yeah, you'll see should see a blue link. If not, don't worry about it. But yeah, we're gonna cover some stuff for you guys today. Strategy, methodology, our thinking behind things. Answer some questions. And then both. Yeah, it might not populate. But yeah. Yee. Nothing wrong with that, Aaron. Sometimes we got to do it, right?
No bad thing.
No, not at all. Not at all. We still do it, right? Like super important. Never forget the basics and the fundamentals, right? Let me see here. So as we mentioned, we're going to go over some strategy. We're going to answer some questions. We're going to make sure that we're helping those of you that really want to take things up a notch, especially to end out 2023 so you can hit 2024 like with that shit that a lot of people don't have, clarity and intention behind what you are doing, right? So we got like 15 folks here. So quick question. How many of y'all want to sell more of your offers? Like put a 1 in the comments. Like we all want to make more money, right? But we need to be careful in the way that we do that because we don't want to sell to the wrong people. The wrong people being folks that think this is a get rich quick thing, or folks that think it's going to be absolutely easy, or folks that are just lazy as fuck and think they're going to push a button or make a few clicks and just make bank. Like that shit's not, it's not real. There's certain things you need to be working on each day, imperfectly, to make sure that your audience is, one, able to find you, two, become aware of what you do and how you can help, and three, they can see that you are the person that can help them do what they want to do. That's when making offers and selling more of your offers becomes more smooth, right? So I see lots of ones, me, all of y'all want to sell more. So like one of the biggest things is becoming confident in what you are selling, right? It's not like about the thing that you sell. It's about the transformation that's going to be given or allowed to the person that you're selling to, right? Most people are out here just doing transactional sales. Like, oh, I sell this, you give me money, I get paid, we're good. Versus what Nate and I do, it's like, hey, we want to show you what we do, who we are, right? Like how we can help. And like after you pay us, that's when the work really starts. That's where that 6 to 12 months thing comes into play. Most people don't want to hear that shit. But those people that don't want to hear that shit are mainly the folks that have been sold and told on a dream that's just bullshit. Like, oh yeah, let's go make 100 grand in 90 days. Brand new beginner, doesn't matter. Oh, you got no experience? Pff, cool, you'll probably make 200,000. Yeah, like, okay, you're setting these people up for fucking failure. And then they're wondering why they're not getting results. Am I right?
I mean, what's in your Lambo?
Yeah, like, am I sounding like, is that, do y'all see what I'm saying? Y'all see this stuff too? It's crazy to me.
Well, I think the important part about all of it too is like it's very easy to get hung up on the product, and you have to look at it from like the consumer's perspective. And anybody who's looking to buy anything, is the outcome for the person needs to be crystal clear, right? What it's actually going to do for the person who takes part in the thing you're selling needs to become clear. You need to, I mean, once you have your main offer and your main product, the only job that we really have is, service providers, people who are selling products, is, creating more attention and awareness around how you help people, and for longer periods of time, right? And I mention that because that's probably the biggest thing that hangs people up online. It's, oh, I got this product and they post about it 17 times and then all of a sudden it didn't start selling, so it doesn't work. Right? Like we've been talking about the same product, same strategies, same outcome for people for years, right? There's a correlation between how much success we've had and how focused we've become on a few different things in business, and not deviating from that, right? Like I can't count the number of times this year we've passed up on opportunities to make money because it wasn't aligned with what we were doing or how we wanted to help people.
Yeah.
Right? So, which is a hard thing to do, especially for somebody who's fairly new or just starting, because obviously we want finances and, maybe we want to leave our jobs or, have more time with our kids or whatever. So it's really hard to separate yourself from that finance, but you have to become aware and known around helping people do something specific. And it can change as time goes on, right? Like 3 years ago, we were working with a lot of beginners. Now, as with our coaching offers and like Core Accelerator, we're really looking for people who already have some infrastructure in place. And it evolves as you grow, as your success grows and your brand grows and stuff like that. But
yeah. And this is something that's actually came up a lot, like with, customers and clients. It's like, how do I attract people that want to do the work? Right. And it comes down to like your messaging and the content that you're putting out. If like, say me and Nate, we want more folks to be aware of like our Core Accelerator program, that's going to be a huge focus, like the main focus for next year. Now, how we're going to do that is our content and our message has to speak to people that we want to work with. And we're going to do that by calling out their own characteristics, results that they're already getting, where they're at in business, and like where we can help get them to, right? Like me and Nate, someone who's already making 3 to 5 grand, Like we can come in, look at their business, kind of break it down and see where we can add layers of leverage, where we can make their offers better, where we can remove certain offers. They can throw in different lead generation strategies. We can build their ecosystem to work for them without them being present and help get them to, $8 grand, 10 grand, 15 grand, right? Over time. It's not like a quick thing. So we want to help those people that are like not out here bitching and complaining about, stuff not working or, automate everything, stuff like that. We want to work with folks that want to do the work, but do the work that's going to position them to have the freedom that they want. Right? Does that make sense, you guys? What's up, Timothy, Scott, Mark? Yeah, it's a good place to be in, to have options, right? We want our clients to have options. We want our customers to have options. And how you do that is position yourself. It's like give people some real information to chew on, to implement, to think about, right? Like if you're a person that's making, $3 grand a month right now, like just imagine in, say 3 months, 6 months, that turns into $6,000 or $8,000 a month. Are you willing to do some work with us for those 3 to 6 months in order to get to that 8 grand a month? Like the people we want to work with are saying, fuck yeah, we want to get there, right? And we want to do this in a simplified way, right? Exactly, Scott. Who doesn't like options, right? So yeah, that's what we're gonna kind of jive on today. Feel free to drop questions as we're going. We'll hang out for a little bit and like do our best to give you a braingasm. If you like braingasms, can you put braingasm in the comments? It's where your brain is just exploding with gooey goodness.
Got goals, hell yeah. Just like to get to my first 1K month. Hell yeah. It's a kick-ass goal right there.
Yeah. And I'm going to say something that might seem a bit contradictory, but I'm going to say it anyway. If you want to get to, who is that? I hate it when StreamYard says Facebook user, but if I know who it is, I might know where you're at because I pay attention to a lot of people. I already got a prank guess. Justin. All right. Justin, dude. All right. Now I got plenty more I could say, and I'll make it really quick. So if you want to get to 1K a month first, like for you particularly, you've got the audience, you've got the knowledge, you've got the awareness, right? Now it comes down to perspective for your audience. You've made money online with multiple different strategies and offers. You've done that. All right. The biggest thing for you, dude, is I know you got a busy schedule. Your boys play football and you're always doing stuff. You're kind of rebuilding that house and like you're busy. You're busy as fuck. Right. Now, this kind of hinders a lot of people. But if you can pick 2 to 3 times a week to be consistent, like with content, whether it's written content in your group or whether it is video, like whatever, pick the thing you can be the most consistent with and you particularly, and I know this because, you've been in my world for a few years now. You need to pick one thing to sell. One thing. Preferably something that's going to help someone with a full-blown transformation and a very specific outcome. All right. None of the clickly bullshit, none of the other stuff that, just isn't real. All right. You need to focus on something that's really going to be beneficial to particular folks. All right. So like, I know you've got a handful of things that you've, been involved with and purchased. You got Group Juice, you got a whole bunch of other stuff. You need to pick one offer that's going to be congruent and that you can be consistent with. And then it just becomes a game of you posting consistent content, talking to people, building relationships, and getting offers in front of them and being seen. If you can show them one thing over and over again. Y'all getting ready to leave? All right, y'all be good for mom, okay?
Yeah, and I'll even piggyback a little bit too. Is like when you can
Leaving right now.
kind of dial into one outcome and one specific thing for people, it becomes really easy to start building attention and awareness around that actual offer. And the thing that a lot of people tend to miss is that we're not even necessarily talking about products, right? Like go less product centric in the content, right? Go more you, who you are, what you do. Like you're building a house, you got kids, like all this other stuff. Because like especially if you're trying to sell products out of like a community or a group, is you have to build a relationship deeper than just a product, right? Like people don't necessarily care about the product, right? It's like they want to know you. That's realistically why they came into your group in the first place. They saw something from you. You know, you said something, you did something. Uh, Go less product centric in the content. Right? There has to be. I think a good rule of thumb would be like for every 4 pieces of content you're posting, maybe one of them is an offer about your products. The other 3 are about you. You know, the other 3 are about strategies, tactics, personality, lifestyle. There has to be a balance in the content, right? It's like we tend to need sales in our business, so then we start talking about sales and offers more. But what that actually does naturally is it starts to repel people from buying your stuff, right? Because it comes across like, hey, this person isn't doing anything but trying to sell me something, versus like, hey, this person is trying to like build a relationship with me and then turn that relationship into a business venture, right? It's a whole different experience for the consumer versus, you know, they come in to something and then there's this option and then this option and then this option and then this option. Then the person's not going to make any decisions because they're like, I don't even know what to do. I don't even know step 1. And I've just had 8 different steps presented to me and I don't even know which one to take. I'm not going to take any, right? I make money every week at my job. I'm good. I don't really need to build this online business, right? Like I'll be okay if I don't. That's what's going on in their brains. That makes sense, right? Like that's also kind of goes back to what Flip was saying is like pick one that you have conviction in, pick a thing that you have conviction in and don't deviate from it, right? Which is hard to do, right? I mean, realistically, you know, we live in the online space where there's $1 million opportunities every 15 minutes and it's very easy not to get hung up on like, oh, well, maybe we should do this. Maybe I should do this.
So I see lots of comments that we can jab on, and like I'm excited to hit some of these, especially the one that just was dropped. We'll roll through these, and then hell, we might not even have to go through the training in high detail because we'll get to like hit some of it now. Let me see. Which one? I had a thought that I wanted to share. What did I see? We'll just hit these. Maybe it'll come back to me. Eddie. What's up, Jess? Good to see you. Sean, my dude.
Let's see. What would you do in an event? Picking up the wrong person to work with and it bites you in the ass. Never pre-qualify a client well enough that I'm having to reestablish my authority. Group. So first things first, I definitely wouldn't kill your group or like restart over. And the reason I mention that is like a lot of the times we feel like if we start over, it's going to fix the problem in business. But then more often than not, and this is coming from somebody who started over quite a few times, is you just have the exact same problem after you start over. You'll get to a point and things will be going well. And then it's like, okay, well, now I have that exact same problem that I had in my last group. So, and I think that's kind of par for the course is you will potentially get wrong people. You'll get the wrong clients. And then it kind of ends up biting you in the ass, right? I think that's a negative side effect to how me and Flip run business or how we teach our clients to operate business is kind of end up getting close to people, which then, you know, naturally when you build relationships with people, there can get feelings involved and, you know, connections. And sometimes those go south, right? That's a negative side effect in comparison to like if we operated a pump and dump, sell products to you and don't give a shit about you, then it wouldn't matter because we don't care. Something that kind of comes along with the territory. as far as like reestablishing your authority in your own group, I think people tend to overlook this, right? Like you don't have to be an end all be all expert or this authoritative figure that helps people build $1 million businesses. Like, especially if you haven't built $1 million business, right? Just talk about you, who you are, like what you're doing, how you're doing things, right? Like you've accomplished more shit in your business than 99% of the people in the entire world, right? You've went through trainings, you've built communities, you've created content. These are all things that people that want to do something different have never done. You've already done things in your business that people want to do, right? So shedding light on all of that type of stuff, right? Creating trainings, writing posts. It doesn't always have to be a monetary outcome for people, right? It's all the non-monetary shit in business that actually yields the monetary stuff.
Yep.
Like people expect to, get 1,000 followers on TikTok and make a bunch of money. It's like, it's not how it works, right? It's all the content that actually yields the opportunity to make sales. Right?
And I want to add one thing for you, Chelsea, and anyone else really. If you the longer you play this game, the more folks you're going to run into where you realize like I shouldn't have sold to them, right? This is why I try not to sell to people, and I end up selling the right ones. Like I will repel the fuck out of the people we do not want to work with. So in the event of selling to a person that you no longer want to work with, that becomes a lesson for you internally, but it can also turn into a lesson externally too, because now you can create content that speaks more to the people you want to work with. Because I can probably ask you right now, I'm not saying don't do this, but make a list for yourself. But if I said, what kind of characteristics does this person that's kind of bit you in the ass have? What character traits do they have that you do not like and you do not want to have in your client roster? Right? So now you can go out and say, hey, look, if you're a person that, X, Y, and Z, I am not the one for you. But if you're a person that is A, B, and C, and you like to do, X, Y, Z, then there's a good chance that you're already the type of person I'm looking for. So now you can kind of use this to fuel future content to help you attract better people, right? Like me and Nate, we don't want lazy people. We don't hold people by the shirt collar and say, hey, you need to do this. No, we give guidance based on our experience and our own accolades. And it's like, look, if I was where you're at and this is what you're thinking about doing in business, here's how I would go about doing it. Right. And then we're just simply, consulting and giving advice so they can go and get a specific result and not hit the burnout phase or not do something that's going to sacrifice their ethics, and attract more people that are like, hey, what do I need to do? Hey, you need to do this. They go and do it. They get data. They come back. We tweak it. And over a couple months, like we dial that shit in. Right. That's what we do with private clients. It's not to say we don't run into, bottlenecks and setbacks and stuff. But the way we view bottlenecks and setbacks is like, this is just more opportunity to make things better, not just for you, but for your audience too. So look at everything you don't like about this person and make sure that your content portrays that so that you never attract that kind of person again. All right. Thanks, Will. Flipettes. That's awesome.
Like that. The flipettes, oh yeah.
Thank you, Jim. They're super cute. Scott, let me see. Flip. Where or were you referring to the click and bait? So look, I'm not sure exactly what you meant there, but I think clickbait content is okay if it is true, right? Like I might put out a post that says, hey, who wants to take the next 6 months to build a $30,000 per month business? That's pretty clickbaity, but it's true because we've done consistent 30K months and like we can help from a business perspective from that position, right? But there's other things like you'll see a brand new beginner go out and maybe put up a TikTok or put up a post and they say, hey, let's get you to $10,000 a month in the next 30 days. Guaranteed. That's some fucking clickbaity, terrible shit. Like, there are too many people right now in the industry that are out here pumping and dumping, just generating leads, selling. They're making money and selling people, but then the people that they're selling to are getting duped because they're selling this model, you know, on a strategy where they haven't achieved the result themselves. So you want to stay away from shit that you haven't done yourself. And you don't even have to have big monetary results in order to do well and be an ethical, you know, marketer, coach, consultant, or educator. You just simply need to talk about shit that you've done. Like, Scott, I can look at you. I know you've made sales. I know you've grown an audience in multiple places. So, like, you've got things in your back pocket that you have done that you can help people do and charge them for it. But here's the kicker. This might hit a lot of you between the eyes. It doesn't take a long time to build a profitable business. What takes a long time is you becoming the person that is worthy and able to do just that. All right. Like, you got all the shit you need, but you got to step into that Scott Perry that's like, hey, I've done this. I can help you do it. Here's what it costs. Here's the outcome. I work with you until X. And then we go from there. I'll help you do this. And then we can talk about looking at doing this. Right. Like, it took me a long ass time to do that. It's like that's that very, very popular thought we all get. It's like, who the fuck's going to listen to me? Why would they listen to me? Why would they buy from me? To now, it's like, I still go through these little phases, but then I'm like, you know what? I've accomplished a lot of things that most people never will. If I don't show up and talk about it and make offers to help other people do it, then they're not going to know it's possible. Right? So I am confident as fuck when I step into that. And it's like, hey, I want to sell you this thing because it's going to help you. Right?
Let's see. I think I asked questions today.
Yeah. My thing, is that the next one? That's what I can see anyway. The thing is, like, I can't get leads when I try to have a conversation with them, ask questions, they don't answer, they don't have time. So what that tells me is they haven't seen the particular thing they need to see in order to, you know, answer your questions. They haven't seen the right thing yet. When you say you can't get leads, but you're talking to folks, that's, you know, you're getting leads, but trying to get them to a conversation, it's like you haven't hit that spicy angle yet, right? So, like, as an example, we're on this live. So, like, those of you that aren't driving and you can participate, let's do this as an example in real time. If I were to say, how many of you are posting just for the sake of posting content, but you're not clear on the intention of your content and what you want it to do? If that's you, then I've got this 4-step process that you can follow consistently to change that to where you have clarity. You are very clear on the intent of what you want your content to do. Then you're able to show up as a confident person, and your content is doing exactly what you want it to do. Generate leads, make sales, grow your business, authority figure, personal branding. You've got influence. How many of you would say that's what I want? Right? Now here's the kicker part of it. I'm pretty sure Nate got something he wants to add. The kicker part of that is a lot of people would say, yes, I want that. But see, I'm gonna kind of throttle how many people would say I want that based on the last part that I'm gonna add. Hey, look, this isn't gonna be super fast, but there are very specific things we can put in place following a content framework that we offer, right? That's going to position you to become that person of influence to get those results. But here's what the work looks like. And then I'm going to break down, hey, here's what it looks like to do. Here's how you need to be posting. Here's the framework to follow. Here's the work involved with the plan to get you to that point. If you're not willing to do that work and follow that plan, I don't want your money. Hell, I don't even want to talk to you. Right? Now, what that's going to do is going to hit people right there. And they're going to say, oh, well, I've got to do work. I don't want to do this. But then there will be other people that say, well, I'm already doing those things. I just need to make a tweak based on the framework and the plan. Yeah, I still want to do that. I've just repelled lazy people that don't want to do the work. And I've attracted people that know they want to do the work. You see the difference there? So it's like, I'm only going to talk to the people that know what work is involved and know that I'm the person that can help them. And it's like Nate said earlier, it's an accumulative game of content that helps attract better people to you. But you've got to be doing the content in that way for a little bit longer. Right?
And I think this is Justin. So I'll play devil's advocate too. Is like, I don't feel like you need more leads. Right? You already have a very large group. I think a bigger part of it would be putting more energy into like letting that community know who you are as a human and a dad and a person and a business owner or aspiring business owner beyond products, like I was saying earlier, and then slow down in the conversations. Like I would be curious to see how the conversations are actually going, right? Like how are they starting, or like starting a conversation that has nothing to do with business, right? Because then what this is going to actually do is, hey, they're probably going to respond. Or like a personalized outreach message to somebody, right? If somebody posts a picture and you screenshot that picture of their dog and you're like, hey, I absolutely love your dog. Like, this is a picture of mine. They're going to fucking respond, right? You're stroking their ego. You're complimenting them on something, right? And the part in business is like, you got to build a relationship, because the relationship is what creates the revenue. So if you want more responses or more people to actually answer you, make it about them. Right? Make it about something that doesn't have to do with anything related to business, right? Because it's a very low pressure way. You have to think about it from their side of the street, right? They're probably getting bombarded with messages, opportunities. They're like, hey, oh, I saw you join my group. Are you ready to buy this thing? Are you ready to do this? Like, they're probably getting a lot of them, right? Versus if you come out of the woodworks and you're completely different, like, hey, I absolutely love that picture you posted with your family. Like, hope you're having a kick-ass weekend. Absolutely nothing to do with business, but it will probably get a response. And then what also happens is they see more of your content. They get to see more of you. Then eventually they'll probably raise their hand on something and then open up a sales opportunity.
Yeah. And so here's this last one, and then we'll move to the TikTok question. But like, those of you that do or have done manual labor, that's fucking hard work. What we do isn't hard work on the physical side. I'd say what we do is harder than the physical work side of things, because it's more of a mental game, right? I don't even know if that makes a whole lot of sense, but I can sit here and say, hey, look, pouring concrete is something that I've done. Pouring and laying concrete, that's fucking hard work. What we do is not that hard, but our brain makes it hard. So like what Nate was just telling you, like I totally agree with it, but you just got to find some consistency. And like when you're talking to people, it's like, hey, could you work a 12-hour shift? I'm like, yeah, I could. Well, could you do it, while, putting strenuous strain on your back for 12 hours? Like, yeah, I could do it. It'd whoop my ass. Well, look, what we do is way different. It's like, we want to show you how to use your brain a little bit more, and not your body, right? So you want to ask questions, like Nate said, that's going to make it easy for them to respond. When you can do that and get the conversation going, and then they get comfortable, right? Like Justin, if I know for a fact you can sit here and talk about hard work all day, right? Farming, manual labor, I know you can talk about that shit. You can like use that as a series in your content if you wanted to. Say, hey, here's the difference between back-breaking labor and using your brain to build a business, to get me out of the back-breaking labor. It's like so many different things you can do to talk to the people that your content's attracting, because it's like, it's just different. My work now versus my plant work back in the day, 10 times different. right? Like if you're a person that can work a 12-hour shift, you can build this fucking business over the next year to where it's like, holy shit, everything's completely different, changed, right? Like my worries that I had last year are not the same.
If I have a TikTok where you were promoting different products and courses, but want to start promoting a new course, leave the videos and don't start a new TikTok. Go less product centric in your new videos. Like stop talking about the product so much. Talk about you, who you are, what you do, how you're going to help people, and all that stuff. I think it shows real growth over time and like your journey as a whole. Right. I still have videos on my TikTok that are related to things that I'm not doing anymore in business, but it shows age and history. Hey, I have context to talk about this strategy because I used to do it. Right. That makes sense. So I wouldn't necessarily delete the videos or like start a new TikTok, in my opinion. Especially if like you're coming back from a break or a hiatus in business. I probably wouldn't be planning on talking about a product for, at least the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks, because you need to get in a consistent cadence of talking about creating the content initially, right? But also like right? You took a massive break in your business or even if like, a few week break, you got to let people know where you've been, what you've been doing, who you are, because without that, they're not going to buy it, even if you post about it every day.
Yeah.
Remembering, I've done it over and over. Have no one in my group engaging my reels on any platforms. Stepped away for a bit, figure out what the heck I want to do.
Right. Let's simplify it then. You say you're kind of stuck on everything. I have no one in my group engaging it, even on reels, any other platforms. I stepped away for a bit to figure out what the heck I want to do. So getting clear on what you want to do, that's like the most important thing. And then what you want to do, what kind of steps are going to be involved in order to do that, right? So if you ever find yourself getting overwhelmed, it's because you're trying to do too many things at once, each and every day. Like this is what keeps most people stuck. Like, fuck, I got to make a post. I need to make a TikTok. I need to write an email. I need to talk to people. I need to make offers. Oh, fuck. Boom, you're overwhelmed. And next thing you know, you haven't done fucking shit and you're stuck. So let's make it simple. In order for me to be able to make offers, I need to have people to talk to. In order to have people to talk to, you need to have content that is raising awareness and generating leads. In order to do that, you need to be clear on the type of folks that you want to attract so that you can talk to and make offers. What kind of content is going to do that? Now, if you're trying to post in too many places, stick with Facebook. And I say that because of something we always preach. Facebook is like a really cool place right now because everything's all in one. If you have a Facebook group and you got a personal profile, then you can post reels, stories, and on your Facebook profile to grow the group. Your group is the main place where you want to give the most information of the highest value along your journey and your experience and expertise, even if you're building the expertise. If I got one thing in my group, say, for our own example, the free workshop. The workshop gets people up to speed with where Nate and I started, what we wanted to do, and exactly how we have accomplished those things that we wanted to do. Like A to Z when it comes to business online. Now, all I need to focus on, if I want to grow the group, is talking about what's in the group in my external content. Posting a reel, posting a Facebook profile post a few times a week. If you can make a post every day, do it. One post, one reel. If you're writing a profile post that's high value and you want to send traffic to it, write one high value post where you're just fucking giving the sauce with a CTA to join your group, and then create 5 reels that week talking about that post, the highlights of it, the benefits of it, all the sauce that's in the post itself. All those reels point to that profile post where the value is and the call to action to join your group. There's a whole ass business strategy right there. If you follow just that simple thing, you'll grow the group. You'll have people engaging. You'll have people to talk to. That's simplified one way.
So loaded question for you guys. How many of you guys are already in Group Juice? If you guys are already in Group Juice, drop a hashtag GJ in the comments, because it will kind of deviate. It'll change depending on, like, we do have a full training and presentation, but if 99% of the people in here are already in Group Juice, then running the presentation is kind of irrelevant because we're in a promotion. So,
Yep. That's kind of what I was figuring earlier, Nate.
Having the hardest time. But if you're not in Group Juice, if you like support like this and coaching calls, we do this every single Tuesday in Group Juice. Just a heads up. If you want to have a chat about that. Having the hardest time getting awareness and growing my community. I don't want to scratch what I have, but it's hard cleaning up and refining all things. And authenticity, that the grow is slow. It doesn't always have to, like, I think the grow can be slow, right? But also at the same time, it's like it all kind of compounds in unison. So it's kind of goes back to what Flip just said earlier too, is like, once you have a few things in your group or you get a couple things in your group, it's like, I need to go out and I need to create as much attention and awareness about what I have in my community, right? You have to create these different layers and create like different distinctions in your community versus like your profile or your TikTok or anything like that. And like, if you have like 3 or 4 things in your group, you can infinitely use those as lead magnets to get people in the group, right? So then it becomes a game of playing around with different content styles, angles, different things to like get lead flow or get people coming into the community, right? It's all a big test, which isn't a sexy thing to say, but I see Flip has a.
You made me think of it, Nate, and I don't want to lose it because my brain's kind of weird sometimes. So, like, again, appreciate all the participation. If you're not in Group Juice, put a not in the comments. But what I want to ask is, how many of you here see Nate or my group as helpful and a valuable place to be? Just put a yes in the comments, because going off Stephanie's question here, I have a point that I want to make. So if you think my group or Nate's group is a good place to be, just put yes in the comments. All right, so I see yeses coming in. So now I want to ask all of you that are saying yes, why do you see our groups as a good place to be? And do your best to try and, leave us a genuine comment. It doesn't have to be long, but why do you think our groups are a good place to be? And then I'm gonna give y'all a little tip of just gonna help based on this question here, right? Full of knowledge. So that's one. So I see a lot of y'all say that yes, it's a helpful place to be in our groups. Value driven. Okay. It's the beard, man. I'm growing the beard back out, by the way. Like, my wife told me the other day, she was like, I miss the beard. I miss it too. I'm having beard withdrawals. Success leaves breadcrumbs. Authenticity and simple. Value, the knowledge and support. Amazing support. Full of gold nuggets. All right, so perfect. And a wee bit of what I was expecting. So if any of you are having a hard time getting awareness and growing your group, you need to make your group a great place to be. And it's not like, oh, let me just fill this place up with all these things. It's like, you want to fill the place up with helpful things so that it's a great place to be, right? It's like, you want to have your group set up to where if you were hosting a party, right? If I'm hosting a party at my house, I'm going to have good food. I'm going to have drinks, and I'm going to have, good company, right? I want my house to be a house party with good people. Like the environment has to be good, right? So it's not just about the things, but it's about the environment as a whole, right? Y'all see what I'm saying? So why would someone want to be in your group? Why do you want people in your group? What kind of people do you want in your group? I want my group full of people like y'all, right? Majority of you guys here have bought things from Nate and myself and have a great experience because of the purchase. This is why y'all are still showing up to all of our stuff that we do. Because we get up here, we're real, we're raw, we're authentic, and we tell shit like it is. We don't try and sugarcoat a fucking thing because we don't run a sugar-coated business. This is why a lot of people throw rocks at us and, you know, don't like us, because we share more real shit. We don't gatekeep, none of that. We actually want to help people, give them good, valuable things that are free and paid, but we still make all from unison. Like I'll share this. Timothy, who's here today, he's going to be in Group Juice at some point. And if I had to guess, Timothy can correct me if I'm wrong, but the reason I'm saying that Timothy's going to be in Group Juice at some point is because he sees the value in what we do. He sees the type of audience that we have built. He sees the type of results that have come out, all because of how we show up. He said he's been following us for a year, I think, and he now knows I should have went with you guys instead of the other thing. Right? This is why he's going to be in Group Juice eventually. Now, I don't know how many other folks talk in this transparent way, but like, fuck yeah, we want to sell products and services to people because we've helped a lot of people that we sold products and services to. They have a good experience. This is where you need to think when it comes to, all right, what do I want my group to be? I want my group to be a place that people can come, be in a great environment, be supported by not just the group creator, but the people who's inside of the group and the community itself. Y'all know we're big on community and culture. This is the type of culture that we would want to see more of in the industry. Would you guys agree? We need more good communities and good culture in the industry of folks that really want to help folks. And that's why we sell. We don't sell just to make money. If we sell just to make money, we burn out, we crash, our businesses fail. But if we sell to help people and make the industry better, people talk about us naturally. When people talk about us, what does that do? It brings more awareness to what we do. It brings more awareness to our brands. People want to be associated with our brand because of how different it is. At least that's what I get from all the folks that I talk to. You want to be a part of something that people love talking about. That is community and culture. If people talk about it, more people are aware. If more people are aware, it breeds more opportunity. More opportunity. We are changing the industry one person at a time. If you go out and sell to one person, that person has a great experience. They know other people that had a bad experience and said, hey, you had a bad experience. Here's how I had a good one. Boom. Word of mouth starts to kick in. It has made me cry like a baby back bitch on multiple occasions, seeing other people talk about Nate and myself, because I never thought that would happen. We're just two regular ass dudes, no shit, that want to fucking help people do what we've done. That's it. Put people first. Make your community a place to be because of the environment and the value that is inside of it. And over time, here's the hard part. Over time, you will have a group of engaged people that fucking love you for what you do and how you show up and the community and culture you have created. That is the fucking game. That is how you win. There's my rant.
Cucumber drop. Chelsea, I'll play devil's advocate here. Is like, I wouldn't really deviate from anything to try to get 1,000 followers. Like follow trains and stuff like that. I have a different perspective when it comes to like trying to get 1,000 followers on TikTok. I would ask why, on a deeper level, why you feel like you need 1,000 followers, right? Because like there's two different sides to this. One, we could go like, clickbait, we could do trends, we could do all this stuff to get 1,000 followers as fast as possible. And then the content post 1,000 followers needs to change if you actually want to start selling products and services. It's not like when you hit 1,000 followers, you're going to start making sales, right? So I would usually encourage most to like adopt the like, even if it is going to take slower, is like kind of what we've been talking about today, more reinforcing who you are, what you do. So that way, when you do have 1,000 followers, like the 1,000 followers you did build are like closer to that point of buying, right? So I wouldn't necessarily change what you're doing or like change how you're actually showing up in your content just to get followers, because it doesn't have any correlation to like sales. Now, I know for you specifically, you are already on Facebook, you're doing Facebook Reels and stuff like that. Like, you don't need 1,000 followers to get people into your group, right? If you are creating content, you can obviously start incentivizing people to follow you. Hey, after I hit 1,000 followers, I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to do this thing for you guys. I'm going to give away this free thing. I'm going to do this, right? Like, start incentivizing people to follow you. But I wouldn't necessarily try to look for quick tips or hacks or strategies to try to get a bunch of followers, because it's like a placebo of followers, right? I would rather have a very targeted following 1,000 people than 100,000 people that I acquired off of using some tactic or strategy that builds me a huge list of people that don't, it's like I see people on Facebook with 600,000 followers, and it's like they acquired all these followers with like remote job content or fake side hustles and stuff like that. And it's like, if they put out any piece of content that it isn't related to like quick money, their audience is like, I don't care, right? They don't want anything to do with it. So one, I would probably put more energy into Facebook Reels, obviously, because you don't need 1,000 followers. And then it'll kind of roll into, I think this is Heather's question somewhere around here too. She mentioned somewhere about, being consistent and posting content consistently is like playing different angles, right? If you already been posting consistently and you've been doing consistent content, like then it becomes a game of optimizing the content style to see what is actually going to perform better, right? Or what is actually going to generate lead flow, or hand raisers or engagement or followers. Like, test all of them, right? Do text screen videos, do speaking videos, do like melt as many different strategies as you guys can into the actual content you're creating, because that's the only way you're actually going to figure out something that actually works for you, right? It's not like a blanket statement, go create this kind of content and it's going to explode your group, because it's different for everybody. So that's one thing I would probably try to start optimizing for, would be playing around with different nuances of the actual short form video content you're creating. And I can't find her comment, but that was kind of a tail end answer to Heather's question.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, you guys are just mental for the questions. I love it. Trying to see what was the next one. Because there was a lot. So it was just, we just had Chelsea's up. And then, let's see. TikTok question. Thanks for the info. Okay, so we answered that one. Okay. Biggest day.
Yeah. I think that's something. Do it messy, Brandy. If we're being honest, like if we wait to get 100% crystal clear on everything, we'll never do any of it, right? It's like that's a real thing, and I think forcing the hand, even if you're not like extremely clear on things, can be beneficial. And like we don't know the real thing about business in general is like we're not going to know if that's actually what we want to do until we start doing it. Right? I didn't know that I didn't like doing sales calls until I started taking sales calls. I thought it was going to be the coolest thing in the world, right? Like I was going to just get on these Zooms and I was going to start selling products. And then like, I didn't realize that I didn't fucking like them until I started taking them. Right. So I think we got to kind of do it backwards because a lot of the times we want to like check all these boxes before we give ourselves permissions to start. And the reality is we kind of have to just start and then figure out like, okay, I don't like this in business. I don't really want to do this anymore. And I think a big part of it is we put ourselves in like this box where if I do this right now, it means I can't do anything else. And that's not how it fucking works. That's not how building a personal brand or a business actually works, especially in the online space. Right? If you look at my group, I've evolved and changed business strategies and models probably a dozen times. And I've had the same group since I started business. You know, I ran a digital marketing agency. I did click, copy and paste, affiliate marketing. I did paid ads, solo ads, everything under the sun. And I've had the same exact group. Right.
Yeah.
Hopefully that helps. And I think as far as like, we don't even necessarily have to be extremely clear on like what you're selling. I think the reality is even if you just started posting content, and I'll make an example of like mega influencers, right? They're not going into creating content thinking about how they're monetizing. They're going into creating content because they want to like, grow followings and build audiences, and then they monetize them. So like that's a way to look at it too, is like even if you went you-centric with all of your content, well, you figured out what you wanted to actually monetize with, you're going to build the audience. Like the audience is the valuable asset that you're attempting to build, not necessarily like, hey, I need to go into creating this content so I can know what I'm selling, right? So it's kind of a other side of the spectrum as well.
Yep. Again, not sure who this is, but how can I get conversations and engagements in my group? I can ask a simple question and absolutely no one answers. I'm really to the point ready to basically whip out my entire audience and my group to rebuild those that want to be there. Like you can cull your group. So let's start with that, and then I'll go to the initial question. We delete people from our groups all the time, right? And it's not to scare people, but it does scare people because they're like, "Fuck, I need to comment so I don't get removed." We remove inactive people. I think maybe a little over a month or so ago, I deleted 1,000 people, and the engagement went up. I got rid of some dead weight. But I've still got people that's been in my group the entire time that haven't done anything. They just like to follow, they comment, and they like seeing the growth. But my point is, cull your group once a month. Like if you got inactive people, fucking delete them. If they want to come back, they can come back. I think a lot of folks join groups on the premise of, they see something attractive and they want to get in and then they forget. So this is why it's important to do your best to engage them in the DMs and through the content, but don't spend a lot of time chasing. I don't chase people for shit. Everybody that joins my group, they get an outreach message. If they never respond, that's on them. They're missing out, not me, right? I've still got hundreds and hundreds of people that never responded, but they still ended up seeing the content, commenting, and buying something. Unopened DMs, though. So how do I get conversations and engagement? Talk about something that's going to piss them off. Like something controversial about life in general, something controversial that really triggers people. Taxes, Joe Biden, Donald Trump, working 40 hours overtime for Uncle Sam to, take 60% of it from you. How many people are pissed off about that? Right? Or the fact that we bust our ass at a job and we pay taxes on our income, and then everything else we buy, like it gets taxed again. And then if you buy something with your taxed money that was already taxed from your paycheck, we're going to make you pay personal property taxes on that thing again every year. Like, how many people here are pissed off about that? Right? Would you guys engage on some conversational pieces around taxes and how stupid they are? Fuck yeah. You know the only way to battle taxes in Uncle Sam? The only way is to make more money. How do you make more money? It's not going to be at the fucking job. I'd have told you, 6-7 years ago, that was the only way. Just work more overtime. Fuck that. I'm past that now. Why? Because I stepped out of the workforce and into becoming a business owner. So now I know shit that I did not know as an employee, right? You're not going to make more money working for someone else. And this isn't to like take a shot at the people that are working jobs and you actually like the job. But I'm here to tell you, if you got one income stream, I'm going to say it again. If you have one income stream and that is your job, you are one income stream away from losing every fucking thing you have. Why? Because you're not in control, even if you're a veteran of that company, even if you are a good employee, it doesn't matter. You're one income stream away from losing every fucking thing you have. If anyone who is curious and afraid to ask the question, how do I know that? Because, I mean, I was fired from a job where I was a good employee. It's a lot more to the story. Absolutely loved the people I work with. Absolutely loved the guy that was my plant manager. Fucking awesome dude. Still call him and talk to him from time to time. But they were running their business, right? And I was a little hiccup with the situation that happened. But I lost my job. My wife lost her job. She's not even anywhere close to being like as outspoken as me. She lost her job. So why would you not build something on the side that could potentially replace what you have or just provide an additional income stream? You got to have something on the side that you're doing. So talk about things that you know people are thinking or that they will respond to. That's how you get more conversations and engagement anywhere on any platform, especially your group.
Conversations and engagement can be a tricky one, but I think that another angle a lot of you guys can play, and this goes for like TikTok and even like your groups and stuff, is start playing with things that are non-business. Like if you look at a question I asked in my group like 2 days ago, what's the weirdest food combination that you guys like? Has nothing to do with business. I'm not trying to sell anybody products off of that piece of content. It's literally just to get comments, which then they see other pieces of content. It fuels the ecosystem, right? If they comment in my group about, liking mustard and watermelon, and then the next day they see another piece of content that's like, oh, well, I think I'm a big advocate on that. The niche is irrelevant, right? Unless you're trying to write like a blog post or build a authority blog or anything like that. Like for a lot of us who are building audiences on socials, like start playing with content outside your niche, right? Outside your actual, people say you can't do that. And I think that's a load of shit, right? You're going to get a lot more comments and engagement, interaction from people if it doesn't feel like you're trying to sell them something, or if it's like, hey, I just dipped my fries in a milkshake at Wendy's. What's your favorite food combination, right? Like people are going to flood that comments, or like Flip mentioned, polarizing stuff, right? Just because it doesn't have a direct correlation to you selling a product right this second doesn't make that piece of content irrelevant, because it all works together. Right? What you're posting today isn't meant to replace what you post tomorrow or what you posted the day before. It's all a snowball effect of attention, awareness, relationships that all end up yielding the opportunity to make sales. Right? Like a good example of this, like Chantel, I think she's probably sleeping right now, but said she ignored Flip for a few years, right? Seen her in the online space and like ended up seeing a picture of Flip's dog and was like, okay, well, that's how I realized that I wanted to end up buying his product, because if he has a dog, he's a good human being. And now we've helped her make over $100,000 from a third world country because of a fucking dog picture.
Thanks, Rex. He's laying right here. He's laying right here.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's not a. I think that's something that a lot of us could benefit from. It is like playing into shit that isn't just business. Right? If you're struggling to grow, we'll start creating some content about not business stuff. Right? You got to think about the audience and the world as a whole, right? If you're creating content about, hey, these are the 5 steps that I would do to start an affiliate marketing business, you're talking to a very subsection group of the world versus like creating content like, hey, what's your favorite Netflix TV show? The audience is way bigger. Now, obviously, you got to take this with a grain of salt because the people that are coming off of that Netflix are going to be way further away from being ready to the point of buying. But if we're talking about from a growth perspective or like engagement perspective, you're going to get a lot more people, right? If you look at a lot of our content, it doesn't get a lot of views, doesn't get a lot of comments, doesn't get a lot of engagement. That's because we're trying to talk to a very specific person, right? It's not meant to resonate with everybody. I think that's a big disconnect that a lot of people have, or they end up like comparing their content to somebody who is talking to a wider net of people. Right? Yeah. See, Facebook Reels and Stories are like monsters for getting group requests and people in your community or even like followers on your profile. They can do wonders. Yep, this right here. Exactly. Yep. Just monitor. Yep. Hey. I mean, hey, they're rebranded now. It's 2023. You know what I'm saying? Got a different name now.
Hey,
yep, that is the option too. Is like if you want to have a link, you can always go business account like on your TikTok if you wanted to have a link. But I think a lot of people put too much weight on the link, and I think that's partly because other marketers and like your life's gonna change as soon as you hit 1,001 followers, and that's just it doesn't fucking happen, right? Like realistically, there's gonna be no difference in your business from 1,000 followers and 1,001 followers, right? That's why I kind of play the other side of the spectrum and kind of entice people and encourage people to do, more targeted content about them and themselves or like whatever, because that gives you the ability to like actually start selling products when you do hit 1,000 followers versus what I was just talking about. If I say I blew up my following to 1,000 people by posting a TikTok about my dog, right? Well, all 1,000 of those people probably don't know anything about online business. So I'm going to need to do that exact same content strategy that I was talking about pre 1,000 people anyways. Right.
Man, awesome questions today. Like, see, and this is like on the fly. This was not what we planned to do today.
Yeah. Yeah, we literally I have a whole presentation that we were planning on running, but we're not doing it because, the majority of everybody in here is already has the offer that we're talking about. So
what does that mean for us? Anyone care to give that a gander? That'd be helpful.
This is a really good analogy right here. Yep.
Yeah. And I could say something like super inappropriate, real and raw, based on Will's analogy here. Like, I guess it would kind of highlight a different perspective. Does anyone want me to do that? Like, it would be mildly inappropriate, but we're all adults here, right? Okay, so check it out. Just because Aaron said do it. So based on what Will said, you can't treat your business like a one-night stand. It's like making a sale is going out and just trying to fuck on the first date. All right, let's be real. Now, though, both parties may get what they want, but is it really what they want though? Like, would you rather find someone you can spend a long time with in a relationship, build a family, buy a house, build a life, or you just want to go out and, just try and get some quick stuff and just keep repeating that cycle over and over again? Now, that shit gets old. It's fun for a little while, but that shit gets old. Yep. End of this month, 11 years with my wife, 2 beautiful kids, a whole ass house, and we both do not have jobs. That's not going to happen if you're just out here just trying to make a quick buck, and that's the only reason that you produce content is for a quick sale. It's like you should want to like make a sale to gain a customer. You should not want to gain a customer just to make a sale. I'll say that again. You should want to gain or make a sale to gain a customer. You should not want to gain a customer just to make a sale. All right. Sometimes, Sean, but we gotta call that like a miracle because it doesn't happen often.
Well, and I'll even like the thing to think about is too is it's an easy way to end up burning out in business, because the reality is a lot of people run their business like that, right? Like acquisition versus retention, which is a good real time analogy for this actual call, because 99% of the people on here are paid clients already. I mean, a lot of people run acquisition heavy businesses, right? Like we need 50 clients a month. Well, when you zoom out long enough, that's like an extremely stressful way to run your business and your brand, because it's just, how do I get more sales? How do I get more sales? Versus like, how do you retain more sales? How do you work with people for longer versus how do I just get more people? Right? There's like that balance of, the cool part is like the more and more you look at a lot of really big businesses, and I'm talking like 8, 9, 10 figure businesses, it's like they want at least half of their income to become from repeat business, right? Because that's like what melts stress. And
Yeah.
Scrolled off, my daughter's ready to go play in the snow. She's been ready for 7 hours and it's not even 10 o'clock yet.
So what about content strategy for the month? Is it a waste of time? Should it be done on the fly within my group? No. So Nate's really good at batching content. I'm still trying to get good at it. I do all my stuff off the fly based off of things that, are happening, thoughts that I have, maybe a training I watched, podcasts I listen to, things that align with, me. Like both of my email and my group posts today, they were both on the fly based on conversations I was having and things that were happening in the business. The biggest thing with your content strategy is it's not that it needs to be done on the fly or it needs to be planned and batched. The biggest thing about content is that you're clear on what you want to happen, like what you're optimizing for. Like at any given point when me and Nate post something, like say a short form video, it's to like grow our ecosystem, bring awareness and value to our audience to where they easily make their own decision that they want to get more from us, even if we don't have a CTA. CTAs are as important, but my point is we post a piece of content to let people make a decision, whether they're like, fuck them guys, or I like them, I want to get more from them, and then they start searching, right? Make it easier with a CTA. But it's like we know what we want to happen. You know what I mean?
Outline the month within the strategy, but it seems to get ignored. Do you mean like from your audience, like you put out a training or something and you didn't get much feedback? Think another thing to think about is like we have the ability to refeed assets or things that we create, even if they didn't get the initial response that we wanted. So like, for example, this live, right? Like if we want to get more people to this live, there's nothing saying that after we run this live that we can't send people to it, which we will, right? Or like the workshop we ran in our groups in February, we still send people to those trainings every day, right? So it's like we put in the energy and we encapsulate our energy one time. If it doesn't perform how well we want the initial when we put it out, it doesn't mean we can't refeed it. Right? We can't send people to that. Or like what Flip was saying earlier is if I put out 10 posts in my group, I can then go create as much awareness as possible around those 10 posts that I put in my community, and I can send people to those. Right. So it's like a win-win scenario. If we put in this energy, we create this lead magnet, we create this ebook, we run this live, we write this post, there's nothing saying that we can't send people to that for the next 6 months. Right. So I definitely don't feel like it's a waste of time or a waste of energy, because it will continue to work for you as long as you send people to it. And then the reality is there's usually people watching, whether they engage or comment or not. There's people paying attention, right? So based on kind of the stuff that we told you on Friday, the one thing that I would probably start leaning heavier into would be like, what you're planning on doing, what you're doing with e-commerce, like, more of Timothy, right? Lifestyle, like what you've tried in business, what direction you're planning on going in. Just building more attention around yourself. And then as you like you said, you built this thing in the group, get a few more things in there, and then everything else becomes like feeder for that, right? Everything else can be centralized around what you put in the group, right? So I think last week, maybe 2 weeks ago, another real-time example of this is like, I put out a written post in my group that talked about a strategy. I think it was maybe we helped Chantel put one of her offers together. And I wrote this down in my post, right? I was like, this is how we helped one of our core clients put together an offer. And then they yielded, 5 figures in X amount of time. And then I went to my profile and I put out a post and I said, hey, I just put together a written framework of how we helped our client generate X result in their business. And it got like 100 comments. And then I was literally going in the comment section and I was saying, hey, I just put the written framework here.
Yeah.
Right. So then I was just sending people to that post that I put in my group. It's a good real-time example of what we talk about a lot in Group Juice, which, eventually, hopefully we see in there, Timothy. But something we talk about a lot is like everything you put in your group is a lead magnet to get people in your group.
Yeah.
That paradox of the more stuff you put in your community, the easier it is to actually grow your community, because then I can just go out and talk about it, which is the opposite of what most people do or talk about in the group creation space. Is they're like, oh, you're not qualified enough to create a community. Like, don't create a community yet, right? Wait until you do this result in your business. Whereas we're kind of the opposite side of that, is like, create your fucking group yesterday, right? Even if you have 0 results in your business, because it becomes your journal, which then you can then just go talk about the things that you put in there everywhere else. Credit a Facebook Reel, story, profile post, TikTok, right? And everything just seeds the community.
Yeah.
Right? Which then builds lead flow, gets conversations, removes the element to add friends or anything like that. Like there's just so many different benefits to it. So that's kind of the way we look at it. And what I would probably do, definitely try not to look at anything you're doing in business as a waste. Right? We all try things and we all test different things, and it all kind of works together in unison. It's not like I could tell you a lot of things that I've done in business that I feel like were a complete waste of energy and a waste of time. But they all yielded really great lessons, right? Like my blog, as an example, right? Like that's a thing that I spent a lot of time on. It doesn't make me money, but it made me realize some major pitfalls in my mindset and things like that. So, which are all valuable lessons I can share in my group.
How many? Like, I want to play a quick game. Like, all of you that are still here, I want to reward you guys and give you something else to think about. All of you that can comment, how many pieces of content do you think you produce each month? Like all together, that's counting like emails, videos, posts, etc. Just roundabout. How many pieces of content do you think you post? Just out of curiosity. And I'm going to tell y'all what I did this morning. And it's probably going to blow your mind. Give you another brain-gasm, if you will. So we got Sean, clearly not enough. So we got 10, maybe 100, about 40. Chantel at 300, 75, 50 plus, 3 times 30, so about 90, 60 to 70. Okay, 15. I don't make I know I'm sorry, Kate. I know you deal with math anyway. I can't think of number, maybe 50, 3 to 5. 3 to 5 a month, Aaron. Like, you need to jump those up, my dude. I think between me and Nate, like both. So 3, 6. We're probably doing over 400 pieces of content every month, probably 400 or 500. This isn't my total point, but I would say that you guys are creating all of this content with, value in there, right? Like, you got these valuable posts. Okay. Yeah, still reels and stories, all that counts, right? So you're giving, more opportunity to people on platforms to find you. Okay. So I'm going to tell y'all what I did this morning. It was kind of like what Nate just said that, he'd done with the other post. Same shit. So I'm going to attempt to cause another braingasm for you guys as we come to, a close on this. Again, if you got questions, keep dropping them because y'all have been absolutely fucking amazing with questions. So this morning I woke up, I had a long day yesterday, so I was tired. I was kind of lagging, got my coffee and went outside. I wrote my first Facebook post on the fly while smoking a cigarette and drinking my coffee, talking about yesterday. If you're in my group, you probably already read it. All right, so I wrote that post, and I wrote that post to help with a perspective shift and kind of share a little bit about what we do and how we do it, talking about the live today. Okay. And then went in, dropped the elbow on my oldest daughter and was, fucking with her for a minute. And then I wrote a quick email that was completely different from my Facebook post. Again, giving value, talking about what to change and what to look at if your offer is not selling. All right, that was my email. Seems pretty normal, right? Write a group post in an email. Took me all of 30 minutes, between the two. But I did not stop there. So what I did then was I went to the Google document where I wrote both of those, right? So it's got the email and the group post, just to save them. That's what me and Nate do. And I added a little chunk. I added a call to action at the top and a call to action at the bottom with a YouTube video. Now, this morning, I recorded, our core clients a video explaining exactly what I was doing, like in detail, why I was doing it, and just random thought that just crossed my mind. So then I went to my profile. Some of you here have commented on my profile post. I said, who would want to see the types of group posts and emails that I write to create more customers and clients? Me, and I'll send it to you, no questions asked. I think last time I checked, I had 20 comments on it. All right. I'm just simply sending them a Google document, showing them both pieces of content that I wrote today, and then linking to my Facebook group if they like and would like to get more information like that, because it was 2 high value posts. And then I linked a YouTube video at the bottom. Why would I do these things? I will tell you. To create more awareness, to grow my group. They join my group, I grow my email list, right? If they land on this and get this document from me, they could get in my group, get on my email list, and potentially subscribe to my YouTube channel. It was not to make money. It was to generate leads and awareness, get more people in my world so they can consume more of my content and my trainings. Somebody who gets this document today that's not in my group or on my email list or don't know, about my YouTube channel, they're going to see more content from me as we lean into 2024. My normal content turned into a lead gen just with a Google document to where I'm growing the group, email, and YouTube channel. Is that simple or not? Is it ethical or not? Proof's in the pudding. Is it working or not? Think about it.
I wouldn't necessarily worry about the posting guidelines. I know like when I first started posting Facebook Reels, like 2 years ago, a little over 2 years ago at this point, I think I posted like 150 Reels in a day. I literally repurposed every single TikTok that I ever posted onto to Facebook Reels, and I haven't noticed a mega difference. Is like I know Instagram is very strict on like, hey, you probably only want to post like one a day, or like TikTok and stuff like that. As far as like Reels on Facebook, your profile, I would literally get as many of them up as you can, uh, especially if you've already been creating content. I've seen a lot of people front load a bunch of their reels and they start growing really quickly. Um, so I wouldn't even know what the guidelines are if I'm being important, like 100% transparent, because I don't think I've ever read them. Uh, if I post a piece of content, I usually just repurpose it on Facebook. If I do a TikTok and I want to post a piece of content, I'm posting it. I'm not necessarily worried about the algorithms or Facebook, not liking me putting the content out there or anything like that. It's like I want to build a connection with somebody. And if it gets 10 views or it gets 100 views, then I'm good either way. Right.
Yep.
Because I want to optimize for like sharing more of my story and more of my story over longer periods of time. Right? If I'm showing up consistently every single day for the next 6 months, it would be silly to think that I wouldn't be able to connect with 100 people that want to work with me. Right? And 100 people at $100,000, like $1,000 product is 100K a year business. Right? It's just very easy to do, even if you get 200 views on your content. Right? If we look at, you put out 2 pieces of content a day, that's, 400 views, and then you times that by 180 days. That's a lot of people and a lot of opportunity, even with minimal attention. Right?
Hey, you guys.
Way simple. Yeah. I mean, we're all about simplification as a whole. Day for months without issues, knock on wood.
Hey, Rex.
Yeah, and like it's a little bit of a different scene if you're talking about like running a social media marketing agency and like running ads on pages and like business admins and business manager stuff. Like, yeah, they're pretty strict with certain guidelines. Like, it's a bit of a different entity if you're talking about posting content versus like running ads or running paid campaigns for clients. It's a whole different thing. Because yeah, like they will get ad accounts can get shut down. Usually a lot of what happens is like when you submit an ad or something for like boosting a post, it gets put into review. And if Facebook doesn't like the content you're putting out, it's gonna, it's probably you're probably gonna get watched, or you're gonna get, put on the ban hammer or whatever. So which is a different, it's a whole different ball game when you're like posting content for clients than when you're kind of posting content for yourself. Which I haven't had too much issues with it. I know Flip has initially, right? Like his initial TikTok got banned and stuff like that. But like for me, I have had, I can't even count if I've had any like videos taken down, but that's because we're pretty transparent with what we do, how we do things, and um, it's like I see a lot of people like I have 17 different TikToks because they keep getting banned, and it's like, well, what kind of content are you creating to get banned? I haven't even had a video get flagged in the last 2 years. And actually, that's a lie. I have, but that's because I use inappropriate humor with the hooks that piss people off. So we'll be honest there,
There's no way you would create something inappropriate. There's no way.
Like that. I know. For example, the one video it says, she said it's that interview question. It says like, how long should a guy last? And she says 69 minutes or 60 minutes. And I says, what are we gonna do with the other 59 minutes? You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that one got taken down, but whatever.
Damn it. Did you guys enjoy today? I want to say thank y'all for hanging out with us. 1 2 3 points. Yeah, Gabriel. Like series are a big deal. Someone that's not brand new to online, but brand new to Group Juice, they started doing. We've talked about like series and doing like 3-parters, 5-parters, 6-parters. It's a cool way to build your audience up. So I would say still practice those and test them. Like absolutely. The Tuesdayest Sunday ever. No, that's right.
So I will couple shameless plugs, right? If you guys are watching this and you made it all the way to the end of this and you guys aren't in Group Juice and you would like support just like this in your business and the actual tactics and strategies, this is something we do every single Tuesday inside of Group Juice. Um, Literally stay on and answer all the questions for everybody inside. If you are in Group Juice and you potentially want to take things up a notch coming into the new year, give Flip or myself a shout. We are, as we did mention in the beginning of this live, and I've posted a few times about, is we are looking to kind of put a bigger focal point on feeding our baby, our secret baby that we've been building for a few years at this point, Core. We really haven't talked about it much publicly, but we are looking to open up more spots. And if you'd like to have a chat about what that would look like, or if you'd be a good candidate for it, give us a shout. No pressure either way, though. Yeah.
Yep. And just in case anyone isn't aware, it might be a few of you that might watch this replay that aren't in Group Juice. We do charge premium prices for our coaching because of the results that we have helped people get. All right. I just wanted to say that. Secret baby. Yeah. Yeah. Before we go, why do y'all think we would put a focal point on growing our core accelerator? So it's a pretty simple thing too. It's got to get new socks now. I hear you, Dennis. I'm not sure who this may be, but if you're looking to have help from Nate and myself, we've only got 3 things that we currently sell as products. Group Juice being the most popular. It's got some pretty insane results from folks that join Group Juice. So give me or Nate a shout, or if you've been talking to someone from Group Juice, let us know who that is, or reach back out to them. We do have some pretty mad bonuses for folks that join Group Juice right now, especially the full pay. It's like probably $20,000 worth of bonuses.
Yep. She's already in Group Juice, but yeah.
Yep. Okay, I couldn't see. Let's see. The reason we want to grow core is because it's the same thing with like how we approach business anyway. Majority of people online, any kind of business, it's like they just want a customer. And then that's it. Versus us, we want a client that we can work with for longer periods of time. It's like you can still do the same work to get a customer or a client, but what's most important is keeping the business with that customer or client. I think it was Sean that mentioned earlier. It's like repeat referral or recurring business wins all the time. So yeah. we work with you in core, like majority of people in core have been working with us for 2 years since we started it. Success rate within core is through the roof, and it is because we work with them longer and we grow with them as their business grows, right? So it's a pretty big deal. And we only work with 25 to 30 people in core at a time, so demand will be there. We've got folks, I don't know how big our waiting list is now, but it's got quite a few folks on it. But we only work with folks that fit a certain criteria and have certain character traits. That's how we want to rock. We don't have to worry about, always getting new customers or always getting new clients. It takes a lot of stress off. So we'll be talking about that more moving forward. But right now, we want to hook folks up with Group Juice by the end of the month, because right now it's no interest. So all of you folks that are here in Group Juice and promoting Group Juice, we're going to go back to normal price where they pay interest on the finance plan, and that's what we're doing.
And obviously, as Flip mentioned, the incentives for the full pay as well, just like the Build-A-Bear. And then we're also planning 3 additional trainings inside of the Group Juice community, which a lot of you guys are already in there. You guys get access to, but we're going to be breaking down some new lives and some new live trainings for you. All about building. We're going to be doing a real-time breakdown of how we exploded the school community. I know some of you guys are still in there, are in there with us, right? Which is basically a new group we launched, a new buyers group, adding some more monthly recurring. And we're going to be doing a offer launch training, which will probably end up breaking down the Build-A-Bear offer training that Flip just did. Pulled in a few grand in 24 hours by literally utilizing energy we already put into our business. And then we'll also be doing a monthly recurring MRR strategy, which is basically how we would go about building monthly recurring revenue, which we're kissing $30,000 in recurring revenue at this point. So definitely have context to help people do that. So that's kind of the 3 bonuses you guys are going to be getting. A lot of you guys already have access to those, but does that mean we need a new link? No, same exact link.
Yep. We're here to make your Santa list come true. Ho, 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 motherfucker. Just kidding. No, for real, though. If there aren't any more questions, we will let you guys go. Thanks for spending almost 2 hours with us. We hope like hell that you've really enjoyed this, and go and implement some of the shit we were talking about. Like, for real.
Yes, sir. Yep. A few different places today.
Yep. Couple places.
We've been getting consistent with the YouTube content, so figured might as well,
Yeah.
Might as well slap a live up there.
100 percentile. So yeah. That's all we got for you today, guys. We apparently will have to run like a little
Another one
to get some new folks in, right?
Awesome sauce.
Cool. Well, we love you guys. We hope y'all have a kick-ass rest of your Sunday, and we'll catch y'all on the flip side. And all you Group Juice folks, we'll see y'all on Tuesday, and we'll do this shit again. Right?
Bye.
Later, guys.